Good morning, this is Andrew with ShinPhoto. I'm here to share a photo quick tip with you on how to do sepia conversions. I'll show you two different ways to do this. The first one is in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom 4, and the other one is over in Adobe Photoshop CS5. These are pretty universal, and there are a lot of ways to do sepia conversions. Let's get started. First, we'll go to the Develop module here in Lightroom 4, and we're going to convert this photo to black and white first. Up here in the Basic panel, I'll click Black and White under Treatment. We'll collapse that panel. You notice here the HSL color and BW panel is now has black and white highlighted. I'm going to tweak the black and white mix a little bit. I'll take the reds up. You'll notice the flowers get a little brighter. Take the oranges down here. You notice the branch should get darker. And I'm going to play with the blues to affect the sky here. We're changing the luminance levels to make each area of the photo that contains those color pixels either brighter or darker. That looks pretty good. I'm going to collapse that panel using a little triangle here. Now in the split toning panel, I'm going to choose a color that's somewhere between red and yellow. So that's where we get that brownish look. You notice nothing happened in the photo until you actually touch the saturation slider. So we'll slide that up a little bit. 22 looks pretty good. And we'll do the same thing with the shadows area here. And again, no impact until you touch the saturation slider. And now you can see that sepia coming out. That's a little bit strong for my taste, so I'll back off the saturation of both the highlights and the shadows just a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Let's do the same thing over in Photoshop. The principles are the same. In the Layers panel here, we'll go down to the bottom of the Layers panel, click to make a new adjustment layer. And the adjustment layer we're going to make is a black and white adjustment layer. You'll notice in the Adjustments panel here we get similar controls. We'll take the reds up a little bit, the yellows down since we don't have an orange here, and maybe a bit further there. And the blues will slide just a little bit. Looks pretty good. To make the sepia here in Photoshop, we'll actually click on Tint. And Tint allows you to choose a color tint for the black and white adjustment layer. I'm going to go with a pretty gentle, pretty neutral tint here. I'm not a big fan of super strong sepias, but here it is. That looks pretty good. We'll click OK. Now let's compare the results. Here's what we made in Lightroom, and here's what we made in Photoshop. Again, you can adjust the strengths of each of these to taste, but that should get you started. Thanks for watching.